So are you moving to the Atlanta area and you're single and ready to mingle? Can't believe I just did that heart thing. That's like so 2000s. Anyways, you're single, ready to mingle, and you're wondering where are some great places to live in the Atlanta area for singles. Well, I've put together a list of 10 places I think are great places for people that are single. And stay tuned because I'm gonna talk all about them coming up next. So let's get into it. Let's talk all about living in Atlanta right now. My name is Molly and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here or you're returning and you want to know everything there is to know about living in the Atlanta area, well, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can follow along. Give this video a like and hit that bell if you want to be one of the first to be notified when I do post another video about the Atlanta area. But you guys, I am here to help you find a place that fits your lifestyle and your budget. So if you're thinking about making a move to the Atlanta area and you need help with that home purchase, hit me up. I am a real estate agent, so I can help you out there. I've been getting a lot of reach outs from you and I love hearing from you. So don't be shy to contact me. You can shoot me a text, give me a call, send me an email, or put any questions you have down below in the comments section, and all my contact information is down below as well. So, okay, you guys, so you're single. I put on my party shirt today. Thought I'd dress up a little fun for this video, but you're single and you're trying to figure out where are some great places to live that you can meet other people and have some fun in Atlanta. So, I am not single, I am happily married, but if I were single these days, I put together a list of 10 places I think would be some great spots to look into. So without further ado, let's get into it. We're going to talk about 10 places here in the city of Atlanta. I'm not talking about suburbs. I'm assuming you want to be in the thick of it all and where there's great nightlife and things to do. So we're going to be focusing in the city. Number one is, this is on every list. I think if you Google places to live, if you're single, Midtown is going to be one of those. And I mean, Midtown it has a vibe, you guys. So I think this is a great spot. If you want to be surrounded by a lot of people, Midtown definitely has that because it is a very condensed area. It's right off the highway. It's very central. There's always something going on in Midtown. Lots of bars, lots of restaurants. There's lots of events. And it's also by Piedmont Park. So, whether if you're not the party type and you're more the physical fitness type, you can head over to Piedmont Park, walk around there, take a jog, or even a little further down, you could hit the belt line and get on there and walk down the belt line. I think it's a good spot for whether you are into fitness or you just are really wanting to go bar hopping, or do both. I'm not saying you can't do one or the other. You can definitely do both, but there's a little bit of everything in Midtown. Plus you have all the arts stuff. So there's the High Museum of Art, there's the Fox Theater, there is the Center Stage, there's the Laughing Skull Lounge where you can go to a comedy show. So there's a lot of different venues and a lot of LGBTQ bars. So one I always think of is Blake's right there off of 10th and Piedmont. So there's just a lot of places to go out, meet people. Now, Midtown, you're going to be most likely living in a high-rise. So if you don't like high-rise condo living, then Midtown may not be for you. There are a few low-rise condos mixed in there, some garden-style condos as well, kind of more where all of the single-family homes are. But for the most part, you're going to be living in a condo, and prices can really range anywhere from, there's some that are in the 200s, but I'd say on average, a one-bedroom in Midtown, you're going to be paying probably around the 350K price point, but they certainly can go up into the $1 million range if you want to get super fancy. So it really just depends, but a lot of great places to hang out. Like I said, bars, there's also low-key places like Cypress Pint and Plate. They do, a trivia night. They do some special beer nights and stuff. So that's more of a low-key place you could go. There's a cool place I went to over at the Politan Row called JoJo's something, but it's called JoJo's, and it's like a speakeasy hidden lounge area. It's a pretty cool spot. So lots of great places to check out in Midtown. I mean, I could go on and just about Midtown in general, but definitely a place to live, not only if you are young, you know, if you are in your 20s, 30s, great spot, but even if you're in like your middle age, which I'm about to hit middle age. I can't believe it sounds so weird to say I'm going to be about 40 years old. But even if you are a little bit on the older side, I think Midtown is a great mix for any age. You may think it's just only young and hip, but actually I think it's suitable for any age. I mean, I know some people that are retired and live in a condo high rise. So Midtown is for everyone, and you can commute very easily to other areas of town. There's tons of MARTA stations around there. You're really close to the airport. So Midtown has a lot going for it. Another obvious choice would be Buckhead. Now, Buckhead is a very expansive region, and you know, single family homes in this area, they're going to probably start around the $1 million range. I mean, there's a few that are under that, but for the most part, they're $1 million or more. Now, I'm assuming that if you're single, you're probably not looking to buy $1 million home, but if you are, hit me up. But you know, most of you are probably looking for something a little bit smaller, more affordable, and you are probably going to be looking at the condo route. And if you're looking at condos in Buckhead, you're probably going to be focusing on anywhere around the Peachtree Road, because that's where the bulk of the condos are going to be, all along Peachtree Road. Tons of high rises. Now, if you're not a high rise fan, there are several garden style condo buildings. They are going to be a little bit older, but they will be a lot more affordable. You can get some condo garden style units for anywhere, I'd say like maybe, I don't know if 200, but definitely in the 300s. And the more renovated they are, they could be in the 400K range. Now, the downside with the garden style condos is you probably won't get as much amenities. They are going to be older in style. So you may not mingle as much with your neighbors with, you know, zero amenities. Some will have like a little garden area that you can hang out or something, but you know, it's not a bad option if you're looking for something that's affordable, and still you're going to be very close by to any kind of hot spots to hang out at in Buckhead. But plenty of high rises to look into, and they can range anywhere in the 300K range, and they can go up into the multi-millions if you're looking at some of the newer, swankier luxury options. So a little bit of everything. And again, I think Buckhead is a good age range for whether you are in your 20s or if you are in your 60s, because there's a lot of old money that lives in Buckhead. So you're going to find there's some condo buildings where the majority of the people that live there are 50 and older. Now, in Buckhead, you're going to have an endless supply of restaurants and bars. You know, if you want something super swanky, maybe you're a little bit older, you could go hit up the St. Regis if you're looking to be very, you know, in a more luxury setting. But if you want something more casual, you know, go to Fetch, bring your dog. They can run around there. You can get a beer, and it's probably going to be a lot of a younger crowd there. Buckhead Village, that's kind of an area that's very walkable. It has a bunch of restaurants in the shops of Buckhead. So that's kind of like a bougie area to hang out at, very walkable. There is Chastain Park that's nearby. You'd probably have to hop in your car to get there. It's a couple miles away, but that's a nice park to take a walk if you're into some physical exercise. And speaking of exercise, there is a swanky new Lifetime Fitness that just opened up kind of by the Phipps Plaza. And it's really, really nice, but something to check out if you are into fitness. I hear it's good. Next on my list is the Old Fourth Ward. Now, I just like this location because it is very centrally located. The Beltline runs through it, so you can always hop on there. There's always people there, especially on nice weekends. That place is going to be packed with all ages of people. You can go over to Ponce City Market, which has the big food hall, lots of, you know, boutique shopping type of options. And it's also very close to Midtown. So when there's things going on in Midtown, you're just 5 minutes away. But you can find tons of apartment complexes around this area. There's a lot of loft options. There are a lot of modern style townhomes. So the price ranges definitely can vary depending if you're looking at a condo or a townhome, but I think it's just a good spot. Plus, you're very close to Piedmont Park. You can hit up a lot of different restaurants. A cool place to hang out would be like the Lady Grove and Mess Hall. That's just, they have a great expansive patio area right off the Beltline. That place will get packed on the weekends when it's a nice day out. You can also go to the Claremont Hotel. I like going to the rooftop. You can grab a drink there, watch the sunset. That's a pretty cool option. There is the Claremont Lounge, which is in the basement. That's more of an Atlanta historical like strip club kind of place. There's also MGAQ, which is actually closing down. I think that's technically in Virginia Highland, but we'll lump it in with Old Fourth Ward. That place is actually going to be relocating, location TBD. There's a developer that is swallowing up all of that and going to be redeveloping that whole area. But MJQ is a big like night scene with music, live music, and a bar and dancing and all that good stuff. So I just like Old Fourth Ward because, again, I think it's a good mix of the younger clientele, and you can get the people that are living in their 30s and 40s that live there, and everyone is going to fit in there, and it's just a very walkable area. So that's what I like about Old Fourth Ward. Next on my list is Virginia Highland. So if you are in your 20s to early 30s, I think this is a great spot to land. Now, side note, Virginia Highland doesn't have a brand new swanky condos. These are all going to be older garden style condos. So, you know, people give up maybe some style aesthetic for the location and its walkability. Virginia Highland is one of the most walkable neighborhoods in the Atlanta area. You're close to the Beltline, Piedmont Park, and all of the restaurants, bars, shops over in the Virginia Highland neighborhood. So it's very desirable, and you know, you can get a single family home. I would say it will be very expensive. You know, the median sales price of a home, single family home in Virginia Highland is $1.2 million. This is a very family friendly neighborhood, but there's like a section where there's tons of, you know, these older condos, and I would say a lot of people that occupy them are going to be the young professionals in their 20s to 30s because they are actually a lot more affordable, like in the 300K range. And a majority of these are going to be off of like St. Charles and Greenwood Avenue. And a lot of these, they're great access points to both the Beltline and over just around the corner on North Highland. There is like a strip of bars that are very popular nighttime destinations. You got like Limerick Junction, Dark Horse Tavern, Blind Willie's. There is the 10 High Club, so where you can go do karaoke. So a lot of great nightlife options and very walkable. I can't really say anything bad about this area. Next on my list would be East Atlanta. Okay, so if you are not into a flashy scene, you're a little bit more low key, I would definitely check out East Atlanta. So, and specifically, they have an area called East Atlanta Village. I've mentioned this on the East Atlanta vlog tour that I've done, but it's kind of an eclectic collection of bars and restaurants. You got like a tattoo parlor. It's just a lot more low key, and you don't have to feel like you need to be dressed up to the nines or anything like that. So it's great if you can walk to East Atlanta Village, but the closer you are to East Atlanta Village, the more walkable it is. It is going to cost a little bit more. Now, when you look at East Atlanta, including some areas south of it, because people will lump it as calling it East Atlanta, which it's really not, but people will just call it East Atlanta. So if you lump in all those areas, the median sales price for a single family home is $422,000. Now, you won't find a home near East Atlanta Village at that price range. You're going to be looking over the 500K mark, but you could get a single family home. You know, if you're wanting a little bit more space, you could potentially live close to the East Atlanta Village. They do have some newer townhomes that they've built around there, and those are going to range anywhere from the upper 400s to the mid 600s. So, but they're brand new, you know, all the latest and greatest finishes, that kind of thing. But there's a great nightlife scene there. They have a lot of music acts that come in, play at the Earl. I mean, I could go on and on with all the different bars that there are in the East Atlanta Village. But yeah, it's just like a cool, eclectic scene. Again, nothing fancy, but you are right by I-20. Just up the road is the Edgewood Shopping Center with a Target. And yeah, so it's a cool scene. They do a festival in the September East Atlanta Strut. So I'd say, again, it's a mix of families, some younger people, so you get a good mix. So, you know, if you're a little bit on the older side, this could be an option for you where you could get a single family home, have some walkability, but not have to pay an arm and a leg. Next on my list would be Inman Park. I have to mention Inman Park. It is a cool place to hang out. They just have a slew of restaurants and bars that you can go to, right? The majority of them are on North Highland Avenue. It's a small neighborhood, so it's very, very walkable, and it's just like a cool group of people. I think you can be fancy as you want or as chill as you want, and everyone kind of blends in here. It's also very close to the Beltline. I mean, it runs along the whole neighborhood, so that's fun to pop on. And there's also the Krog Street Market, which is a food hall, so another great place to go hang out. And what else am I missing? I mean, a cool place to hang would be Barcelona Wine Bar. You can get some tapas, get some wine. They have a nice patio. There's also Bar Taco. Again, nice patio area to hang out, get a margarita. So plenty of places to eat. Now, Inman Park is expensive to live in. I mean, if it's single family homes, average price point, $1.125 million. But you know, there are some condo buildings where the median sales price is around $360,000. There are some newer townhomes, and those can get up into the $901 million price range. So it can definitely get expensive. There are some apartment complexes around here as well, but it's just very centrally located. You can hop onto MARTA very easily. You can get to downtown or the airport very quickly. It's just a cool spot. They have their big Inman Park Festival in April is a lot of fun. And the people are just generally pretty nice. And I would say, you know, again, lots of families here, but also kind of a lot of younger singles that live here as well. So Inman Park would be a good spot. Next on my list, I think some people might be surprised by this, but I'm going to put Cabbagetown on this list. Okay, why am I putting Cabbagetown? I think it's a great, you know, it's a walkable neighborhood. It's, again, right by the Beltline access. You can hop over to Inman Park very quickly or over into Reynoldstown. And Reynoldstown would be another great option as well for a single, although they don't really have condos. They have some townhomes and single family homes. But back to Cabbagetown. So Cabbagetown, walkable, very close to a lot of other fun in-town areas. But you can get a single family home here. The median sales price in Cabbagetown is like $550,000. But here's what I was wanting to talk about is Cabbagetown is unique that they have these shotgun homes. So it's like a glorified condo. They're, you know, anywhere from 700 to 900 square feet. It's a 1-bedroom house though. You're not sharing walls. So if you don't want to share walls with anybody, this could be an option, and you can find those anywhere in the 400 to 500, maybe a little over 500 if it's a little bit nicer inside. So that's a great option if you kind of want the feeling of a house, but you don't really need, you know, 2,000 square feet. Plus there is a very popular condo building here called the Stacks, and it's very unique lofts. This was a former cotton mill turned into loft units with very exposed brick. It's gated. There is a community pool. It's a very large. I forgot how many units in total, but it's going to be a great mix of younger people that live there. I know there's some older. I've talked to some people that have sold a condo there, and they're like, "Oh yeah, my neighbor, he's in his 50s or something." So I think, you know, you don't have to be young to live there, and it's a very unique space. So prices in that building, you know, for a 1-bedroom, you can get them in the low 400s, maybe high 3s, but the average 2-bedroom, 2-bath is around $480,000. So the Stacks has gotten a lot more pricey than what I remember, you know, 5-6 years ago, but it's also very close to a slew of restaurants off of Carroll Street. So there's some places to go get a casual bite to eat right there. So yeah, I think Cabbagetown is a great spot, and I think a lot of people don't even realize that it's a pretty chill, cool spot. Okay, now I'm going to talk about Castleberry Hill. Now this place is not for everyone. It is for someone that really is, you know, kind of artsy. I'd say the median age in this neighborhood is like 21. So it's a lot of young professionals that live here. There's some apartment complexes. The main thing about this area is it's full of unique lofts. And if you drive through this neighborhood, it may look a little sad. It's just because these are old warehouses that have been turned into lofts, but it can look a little rough on the edges. I'm not gonna lie, the first time I drove through there, I felt like I was not safe. There has been some crime activity there, but where hasn't there been crime in Atlanta? So when I was doing a vlog tour there for the Castleberry Hill neighborhood, I noticed that everyone that I saw that I passed by, they were all pretty young. So it's a walkable neighborhood. There is a good handful of restaurants in this neighborhood. You're also really close to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium and the State Farm Arena. So if you're into sports, you're very close to there. It's going to be a killer location, especially when the World Cup comes to town in 2026. It's weird to think that far ahead, but yes, that'll be here, and that'll be literally a hop, skip, and a jump away. Plus, they are developing the South Downtown area, which you're going to be able to connect to from a bridge from Castleberry Hill, and that's going to have a whole commercial district of, you know, coffee bars, restaurants, that kind of thing. So that's going to be very exciting too. And the price point over here, the median sales price for a condo over here is $306,000. So very, very affordable. Now, some of these areas are going to be a lot more raw, maybe not the most trendiest finishes at the moment, and some will be, you know, really nice. It really just kind of depends on the unit, but this is kind of an affordable option. And I'd say, you know, if you are older, in your 40s, 50s age, probably not the spot for you, but I just feel like it's a much more younger crowd, very artsy, kind of lots of entrepreneurs, but it's a cool, hip vibe spot, and not for everybody, but you know, definitely if you're into that more raw feel, then this could be a spot for you. Next on my list is going to be Chamblee. So I try to think of an area, you know, maybe you don't want to be in the thick of all the city stuff, but very close by. I think Chamblee might be a good spot. It's still ITP inside the perimeter, but it's about a 15-minute drive down over into the Buckhead area if you want to get over to some, you know, more fancy nightlife options. But this is a great spot, you know, if you don't want to be quite in the city, or maybe you're just watching your budget a little bit more and you want something that's still nice, I think this could be a good spot. So the areas I had in mind are off of Peachtree Road. Now, I did a video of like best neighborhoods to find condos in, and I started out the video with being in Chamblee. So check that out if you want to know more, and I kind of talk about that area a little bit more in detail. But what I like is that they have some condo units there that are much more affordable, and you get decent square footage. So, you know, for example, the Peachtree Malone, that is loft options. You can find a unit there for in the low 300s, and you get decent square footage, like 1,100 to 1,200 square feet. There's also lofts at 5,300, which is right next door. This one has a pool, a little bit more amenities, and you can get a one bedroom for in the mid 200K range for about 700 square feet. And these buildings are very walkable to like a new little strip of restaurants that's just a couple blocks down. So some great places to grab something to eat and hang out at. So that's why I like this area, because you're not just kind of out in the middle of nowhere. There's actually some places to go meet up and hang out. Now, the whole area of Chamblee, there's definitely some more like neighborhood feel areas. There, you know, single family homes are in like the 500K range. So, you know, that might be a spot if you're looking for a single family home that's a little bit more affordable. And I would say then you're going to get into a mix of more, you know, maybe young families that live there, or just single people in general. So that could be an option. But yeah, I thought I'd throw that one out there as something a little bit different to consider. Finally, to round out my list is going to be West Midtown. Now, West Midtown doesn't really have an exact location, but I'd say the heart of it runs along Howell Mill Road between 10th and 14th Streets. There you're going to find all of the restaurants, anything from higher end to very casual. It's going to feel pretty bougie because it's got a lot more higher end shopping and furniture stores, that kind of thing. But a great place for a date night. I mean, I go out here all the time with my husband for some really great restaurants. There's the Putt Shack, so that's something fun to go do. In the summertime, the rooftop LOA is like the bougie place to be. You can hang out by the pool, grab a cocktail. They have a restaurant there. That's kind of like a newer place, and it is very popular. It's a place to be seen. So I would say, yeah, it's kind of, you know, in that younger age group. So if you're, you know, 50, 60, maybe not your scene to live there, but definitely a place to visit for a date night. Also, you can go over to the West Side Park, which is just 2 miles west of there, and you can get your exercise on. They have a lot of great walking trails, and the Upper West Side has a lot of breweries to hang out at. There's also the Chattahoochee Food Works, which is a big area to hang out at. They just opened up Your Third Spot, which is like a 21 and over most of the time, where you can drink cocktails, have some food, and play arcade games, basically is what it is. I still have yet to check it out, but it's on my list to do. There's also Top Golf. So as you can see, a lot of great places for a date night. Now, to live there are a lot of apartment complexes in the heart of West Midtown. There's some condos, some townhomes. Some of them can get a little expensive, but it's a spot that's not far from Midtown. You're about 5 minutes. You just got to jump over the highway. So yeah, great trendy area. And I would say, yeah, if you are a little bit older, it may be a little bit too trendy, but that's just my opinion. But happy to talk to you more about it if you have questions. Okay, you guys, that wraps up my list of places to live if you are single and ready to mingle. I hope this helps you out. If you have questions or you want to talk more about any of these, or I have some other ideas as well. So don't be shy to hit me up, shoot me a text, give me a call, send me an email, or put any comments down below. If you agree or disagree with any of the places I've mentioned, put them down in the comments below. Let the people know. I am here to hear from you. So until next time, you guys, I'll see you around the neighborhood.